Welcome to the JCPod. I'm your host, Jaden Chandler Parnell, and hey, we're right there, man. I think we're about 52 or 51 days away from the NFL starting, and man, it could not come any sooner, man. I'm so excited for this NFL season. Been looking through a lot of NFL stuff lately. It feels like that's about all that there is to, look at. Obviously, there's baseball going on, stuff like that, but man, this is about the time where it's super exciting. So today, very simple, just going to talk about NFL news. No need to talk much baseball. The episode I did last Wednesday, still kind of fresh. I mean, most MLB teams have only gone through one series, if that, and they're in their second series. So I'll wait another week or two before I touch on a little bit more baseball. But past that, man, we're basically just gonna hop straight into some NFL news today. A lot of it's gonna be. I'm gonna save the running back talk maybe for the end because there's a lot I want to get into that. Maybe if not, I might pop into the middle. I truly do not know. There's like 4 or 5 things I want to talk about. No idea any particular order, so we're just gonna hop right into it. As you can see, DeAndre Hopkins, a Tennessee Titan. That was a very, very shocking move. I will admit I thought he was gonna be signed maybe with the Patriots and the Titans, especially when he talked about he wanted to compete and get more money. That's what it seems like he wanted to do. But no, he said he wanted to compete and win a Super Bowl, and then signed a really nice deal with the really, really nice deal. 2-year, $26 million with the Titans. Not bad at all for 2 years. I believe the deal's reportedly worth up to $32 million with the incentives. And it's basically a 2-year, $32 million. If he gets all the incentives without the incentives, it's $26 million. He's gonna get $12 million on year 1 base salary. I don't know what this means. I feel like this means, does he stay there for all 2 years? I never know, but it's just funny that all these, veteran wide receivers now are going to Tennessee for Julio Jones, Andre Johnson, now DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, the Titans are the Colts of the wide receivers, basically. The Colts get all the old quarterbacks. Titans get all the old wide receivers. I think DeAndre Hopkins definitely helps that team out. If you saw from my breakdown on Thursday, I talked about how I really think that Titans might just win the division. I ended up thankfully betting it a little bit that day. I'm going to check the odds now. I think they haven't changed too much. Last time I checked, they were around plus 330. I just checked, so now the Titans are officially 310 to win the division. I got them at 330 and 380. I'm obviously going to probably bet the Colts. If you like anybody else not named the Titans, you might want to wait probably another week or two to hop on it. I think the line just keeps moving. They signed D-Hop. It's only been, I think 2 days since the signing, and the odds have already lost, 70 overall. It went from plus 380 all the way down to 310, like I said. So, if you really, I'm trying to look to give you the rest of the division while I'm thinking off the top of my head. But so now the new divisions for the AFC North are the Colts are plus 550. They went from plus 500 plus 550. Texans are still plus 1,000. And Jacksonville Jaguars from minus 160, minus 155. I think it's probably going to be as low as, maybe minus 130. I can see the Titans definitely gaining some momentum, especially if they make some better signage, some more added-on signings, because, don't get me wrong, I think the Jaguars might have the better offense overall. If you add all the positions together, they might have a slightly better offense, but defensively, I think the Titans have them beat, so if the Titans keep adding stuff on offense, that only helps them in the long run. DeAndre Hopkins, like I said, amazing signing for them. That's pretty much how much they need. I'll see how much that changes the win total. I won't lie, this is another one of those things I didn't have written down that I thought I did. But, man, Tennessee Titans are still over and a half at 7.5. Now the over is at minus 102. So I gave it out, I believe, at plus 104. Now it's minus 102. So all the odds are completely changing a little bit for them. Yeah, it was plus 104. Like I said, now it's plus 102, minus 102 for them to win. And when it comes to making the playoffs now, that was the last one I really wanted to go over. So Diop basically made them from underdogs to, I want to say, favorites for the so basically from plus money to minus when it comes to the win total. So the win total stayed the same, but the odds got a little worse. Division-wise, their odds are getting a little worse to win the division. And when it comes to make the playoffs, the Titans now officially are the... Oh, man, the Titans are still down here. They're plus 225 to make the playoffs. I had them at, plus, I think, 280 or something like that. So there's still everything, like I said. The main reason I want to bring all that stuff up is, as you can see, getting DeAndre Hopkins is basically, they don't see, it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's how I see it, but it's very similar where they see, like, basically they think that he has maybe a win or two, but they don't change it too much. I truly think now that they're in play to win the division just solely from the fact that they got D-Hop, because the biggest question was who's Ryan Tannehill going to throw to? Now he has at least D-Hop to throw to. He has Traylon Burks, Chigakonkwo. Like, they got some decent guys now. They probably still need, like, one really good number one wide receiver to help out their offense. That'd be amazing for them. But past that, honestly, not a bad pickup. Hopefully, D-Hop will help out the offense a little bit more. And like I said, if they get one more receiver, that offense is going to become scary. Now it's basically, I would say, all in Ryan Tannehill for the Titans to see how he does. Yeah, I mean, just really, it's basically the more it's going to rely on Ryan Tannehill. And if we see them signing D-Hop makes me wonder if we'll see Will Levis at any point now. They might lean towards not, especially if they get to the point where they're like a game or two back of the division. And even if Tannehill's struggling a little bit and they're only a game or two back, they might not want to make that move. Just basically signing D-Hop basically says, hey, we still think we have a chance to make the playoffs. Let's try to go get after it. So this is going to be the second part of the main thing I want to talk about today. Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs were unable to land extensions, and so that means that basically they're both going to probably sign the franchise tag. Tony Pollard as well as one of the people who didn't get an extension. But the reason the team really didn't want it, apparently, like according to this, Tony Pollard, along with them, didn't sign the extension, but he wasn't really looking forward to too much, or vice versa, they weren't looking for him to. So basically, yeah, the team really wasn't looking for Pollard to do much, but Barkley and Jacobs were like trying to get long-term deals. So, man, I just don't know. It's just the whole running back market in general, man. It is crazy. I mean, it's just so crazy how disvalued the running back is. Because I mean, like, at the same time, I get not wanting to pay him like $20 million a year or wanting to pay him like $15 million a year because running back position does get beat. But man, I mean, it's one of those positions like. It's almost like, I want to say like, I don't want to say the old version, but basically the running back's kind of, they're like the old version of the point guard right now. It's just going out of style a little bit. Like, for example, like nowadays when you think of a point guard, like when I was growing up, before the whole Steph Curry era and everything, it was basically like when you thought of point guard, you thought of like, oh, Chris Paul, Rajon Rondo. You thought of the guys that like, hey, I'm not going to score offense today right away, but if I need to score offense, I will. But I'm going to look to get everybody involved. I need to get this guy going to keep him going. Get this guy involved so that way he can do something. It's kind of like what the run game does. Like you hand off the ball you hand off the ball at least once. The defense all of a sudden is like, oh, okay, so we got to worry about that now. For example, say you run like a play action boot to the left 3 or 4 times in a row, and then you fake the handoff boot that way, and you run a counter the other way. All of a sudden, the counter gains like 20 yards. I mean, there's so many little wrinkles that the run game causes in an NFL game that like it's just so important that it's shocking that people don't. Just shocking that people don't value it as like highly as they do. There was a tweet I retweeted the other day that's like basically what they do is like they draft a running back. So I'm gonna find the tweet I think because it says it pretty well. I mean that's truly what it just. Unbelievable how under and devalued. Like there's gonna be number 3 wide receivers almost making as much as running backs. I mean running backs are getting pissed now. It's starting to come out on Twitter. There's a lot of running backs that are not very happy at all. So this is from I don't know who this is from actually, but this is just a tweet. It basically says this is what this guy's been saying for years, but I don't know if it's like just him or it's been like a saying for years, one of those things. But basically this is what. When it comes to NFL running backs, especially the last like few years, this is what it is. Draft a running back, play the running back if he's good, franchise tag the running back one time, and then draft a running back, and it's just reverse the cycle. I mean that's what people, the rumors, like the running backs, I mean, this is what the rumors been going around for a while. I mean, you look at it, it kind of makes sense, man. DeAndre Swift, the Lions got a few good years out of him. Gone. I mean, even though he was injured and everything. James Conner for years with the Steelers finally gets paid, but not by them. I mean, it is everybody. And to this tweet, Derrick Henry, this is what Derrick Henry said. Like, the Derrick Henry. At this point, just take the running back position out of the game then. The ones that want to be great and work hard as they can, just give it all to an organization. Just seems like don't even matter. The ones that, here, let me retry to read that. I don't know why it sounds weird. At this point, just take the running back position out the game then. The ones that want want to be great and work as hard as they can to give their all to an organization just seems like it don't even matter. I'm with every running back that fights to get what they deserve. I mean, it's true. I mean, don't get me wrong. Derrick Henry deserves the bag. Christian McCaffrey deserves the bag. But you would think Saquon. I know Saquon's been hurt, but he was that team last year. Don't get me wrong. Daniel Jones has an amazing, amazing team. But isn't it crazy that Daniel Jones had one of his best seasons when Saquon was fully healthy for the whole season? Like, I'm not going to point fingers or anything because obviously I think Brian Daboll had a say in that too. But Saquon was the Giants' offense last year. They basically had no help for a lot of the season, it felt like. And it was Saquon having to make miracles work. And it's just shocking, honestly, that he's not. Same thing with Josh Jacobs, man. Josh Jacobs had an insane year. They ran this guy in the Hall of Fame game. He got 20 carries in the Hall of Fame game. Usually when they're getting carries in the Hall of Fame game, it's like, oh, man, he might not make the roster. Or it's like, oh, he's going to not be playing too much time this year. And ended up leading them in the team. I mean, they weren't getting anything. Nothing. It is just truly, truly shocking how, like, bad the league is. And, I mean, it's like, it's honestly, it's truly criminal how bad they are. Again, when they played 3 of the best players in the entire league, regardless of position, and that's what Christian McCaffrey had to say about Josh Jacobs, Barkley, and Tony Pollard. And that's what's crazy is, like, especially Saquon and Tony Pollard. Like, don't get me wrong, Josh Jacobs is in the same boat, but I do traditionally view him more as a running back than I do a wide receiver, like something like that. But, I mean, hybrid, like, I would say that Saquon and Pollard are like hybrids because they can catch the ball really, really well. They can create almost anything in space. It is truly insane how, honestly, this bad the running back market is now. I mean, it makes me worried for Jonathan Taylor. I hope the Colts don't screw that up and lose him because you just need a really good running back. It's to the point in NFL, I mean, people act like you don't, but, I mean, you do. I mean, it's going to come down to, like, people... Isaiah Pacheco, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Jerick McKinnon were the running back room for the Chiefs. And people are like, oh, there's not really a superstar there. You can get by with it. I mean, Jerick McKinnon's really good. I mean, Pacheco might become a star. I don't think Pacheco's going to become like a star, but I think he was really, really good last year. I think he has the potential to be like take over the running back room. But it's this whole committee idea. I mean, the Chiefs won a Super Bowl with the committee, so... It just become, I don't want to say it's like the trend, but, and I'm not saying the Chiefs started it, by the way. I think this was started by somebody else, but I mean, it's just a trend, it seems like, where it's like, instead of getting 1,500 yards out of one great guy, and then we have to pay him, why don't we just get 3 guys that together will get 1,500 yards, and then we don't have to pay them too much. We can divvy it between them. It's just this whole mess, man, because, yeah, there are some guys that just deserve to be paid, and it seems like they just don't want to pay the running back market at all. Like, I mean, anybody, it seems like, unless you're... And, like, Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry got paid, like, a few years ago, so... I don't know, man. It's just honestly truly wild how, like, I don't want to say undervalued, but truly, at this point, they're starting to undervalue the running back a little bit. It's just frustrating. When I build, like, if I was to build an NFL team, and even I did this with, like, Madden teams when I was a kid. It's like, the first thing I do, get a running back. After you get the trenches, get a running back. And then you worry about, the wide receiver quarterback. Because at the end of the day, like, obviously I know... Video game wise, that's completely different. When it comes to like an NFL team, man, you got to build through like the trenches and run game, truly. Because think about it. I know you need a quarterback to get you far. That's how you're gonna win. That's how you're gonna get to like when you get to the playoffs. Like the running back, not the running back. The quarterback is usually what separates you. But, I mean, shit, man. The Titans have made the playoffs with Ryan Tannehill, and I'm not saying Ryan Tannehill's butt cheeks are buns, but he's not the best quarterback in the NFL. Is he a top 100 quarterback in the NFL all time? I don't know. That's a hard one. I don't think so off the top of my head. I don't know 100 NFL quarterbacks off the top of my head, so I couldn't tell you if he is or not. But he's not like top 50 probably or something like that. And you see how good they can be with just when they have the line, when they have the defense, when they have the run game. It's just the running back position is beyond invaluable. It's the yin to the yang of the offense. I mean, like, everyone wants to be pass happy and wants to pass. But if you don't, you let those defensive end, edge rushers, you let them be able to just pin their ears back and rush every play. I mean, the offensive line, we're going to have a rough day. The quarterback's going to get hit a lot. The run game is literally like I said, the yin to the yang where it opens up everything else. So it's just, hopefully the running backs get paid, man. It's really sad what is happening to the running back market. Truly, truly awful, man. They deserve to get paid at this point. They're the position that's kind of getting like screwed over. It was tight ends, it felt like, for a while ago. Then it was wide receivers. Then it was pass rushers, and now it seems like with the game changing, it's down to the running back. So it's going to see if the running backs change or if this is just going to be the new norm for them for a while now. Allen Robinson said that Pickett's awesome command of the Steelers' offense. Or I guess he praises saying that he has an awesome command of the offense. Coming in, seeing Kenny now go into his second season, the command that he has for a second-year player is awesome. I personally feel like you don't get a chance to see guys that young with command as strong as the leader, as far as leading us. My Lord, English. Across the board, he's very experienced. It's been very fun to see, and it's been fun to be a part of. I'm interested to see what Kenny Pickett does. There's a lot of people who think he's not going to be the future. But I think there's a chance. It just depends. Apparently, like, it's confirmed basically now that they had no hot routes last year. Terrible if that's seriously so true. But for the most part, I'm just excited to see what the Steelers do. They're in year 2 without Ben now. A new era, and they're one of the teams that doesn't like to change too much, it seems. Especially like the key components, like they like to keep everything as simple as they can. Like if it's working, why remove it? So I thought Kenny had a really good year last year with being a rookie and trying to learn the offense. So I'm interested to see what he does next year, taking the step up. Funny enough, this Thursday I'm actually breaking down the AFC North, I believe. So it's gonna be I can't wait to talk about him and the Steeler boys a little bit. Bucks Lavonte David said Baker Mayfield is great for a locker room. I won't lie, a lot of the somebody in the I was looking at an article and somebody in one of the comments said that basically means he's trash, but he likes it. That's so poor Baker, man. Excuse me. Yeah, overall, man, Baker. I think he's gonna have a decent year this year. I don't know if he's gonna do anything too special, but I think he should be all right. I mean, that Rams game last year, when he joined the Rams in 48 hours and won a game, that's pretty awesome. Past that, I mean, he just had a rough year last year. It's been kind of a rough go of things. Just feels like this might be one of his potential last stops to be a starter before he becomes the backup that everybody wants, basically, just because he's had the experience. But it seems like he has matured a little bit overall. Which is really, really huge because one of his bigger things coming in was immaturity. So it does seem like he has matured a little bit and understand, but I mean, we'll still got to see. He hasn't had the best last few seasons, so we'll just have to see if he bounces back, basically. I don't know what he's going to do. I'm not, like, it's one of those things where it's like nobody's expecting much from the Bucks, so if he can pull something off, man, that'd be really good for his brand and really good for him because, yeah, like I said, I haven't looked at the Bucks over-under, or if I did, I obviously don't remember, but I don't think, I can check her real quick, but I don't think it's very high. I'm assuming it's about there with the Cardinals. I'm assuming it's around like the 4 or 5 range. I just don't think that. I mean, the Bucks, like I said, they're a lot of the same team last year, except they don't have Tom Brady. And I know Tom Brady didn't have the best season, but man, I mean, it's hard to get rid of a leader like that. And when it comes to the Bucks, like I said, they're over 6.5 wins plus money. So they have 6 wins. I thought, so that makes sense. Not too bad. So I mean, 6 is tempting, right? I don't know. Evan Ingram signed a 3-year deal worth up to $40 million. I don't know. We'll have to see what the guaranteed is. 24 guaranteed. These deals are always messed, and it's like, hey, by the way, they're only getting like half, 2/3 or half the money. But no. So his annual salary would be $13 million a year, and it's the 6th among tight ends. Not bad for a guy who had a decent year last year. It's just, he's one of those things. I just know him more of the fantasy. Where in fantasy he has 2 good weeks every year, and then past that he doesn't do much of anything. But I think he's a really good piece for the offense, like football-wise. I think he really is. I mean, he's a really good tight. I mean, he's a really good tight end for what he is. I mean, it's not like. It's a lot of money for Evan Ingram, but I mean, it's not bad. Yeah, he had 73 receptions with 766 yards last year, and he had 4 touchdowns. Like, I don't know, man. I just don't. I'm indifferent on Evan Ingram just because, like, I had him in a few years in fantasy, and he was just butt cheeks. But I don't like overall. I think he'll be good for them. But yeah, like that's a decent amount of money. They have Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Zach Jones, Apparently, the rumor to be their 1-2-3 wide receiver. That would have been a good D-Hop team. Yeah, they're going to lock down the tight end. They like him. I mean, between all the pass options I just read, he probably is one of the better names and better ones. So, I mean, I get why they want to pay him. Tyreek Hill said he'll catch 2K yards and the Dolphins win a Super Bowl this season. You got to love the confidence from that. The main reason I want to bring this up is I do think he can get 2,000 yards. That'd be pretty awesome to see this season. Joe Mixon is going to take a pay cut to remain in the Bengals. I'll talk about this more on Thursday a little bit when I break down the AFC North. But getting him back, that's huge. And the fact it just sucks. One, another running back does take a pay cut. But after everything's been going on with him, true or not, I'm not going to get into it. I'm just not going to get into any of the issues he had in the offseason or anything. I'm just going to leave those all be. But he took a pay cut to save the team. Hopefully that turns into something good for them and for him. I like them as my early favorite. They're the team that when I did my very first look through of the offseason when I was trying to find teams I like to win the Super Bowl, I do have the Bengals on there. So them getting him back makes me feel a little bit better in my pick because, especially since they got rid of Samaje Perine. This year, I believe the backfield is kind of like his to lose. I don't believe there's much of a running back competition that's going to be behind Mixon right now. Obviously, there's going to be other people to get carries because they don't want to kill him with carries. But, I mean, past him, there's running backs like Trace Browns, Chris Evans, Calvin Tyler, Travion Williams. Yeah. He's going to get a decent amount of carries. That's basically what I'm going to say. So, it's going to be really awesome for them. Blake Jackson, who was a former defensive tackle, is retiring after 10 seasons. He said his goal was 10 to 12 years. He said, I was able to get to the point where I was doing okay. I was doing pretty well for myself. I did enough. I have a daughter, and I need to go home and be with her and start living life. Awesome for him, man. He played 4 seasons in Denver after being picked out of Tennessee. He was a part of the Broncos Super Bowl team. And he was a 2017 Pro Bowler. And then played 2 more seasons in Philadelphia after that. Really awesome career. He spent 2021 in Cleveland, and he ended up not playing last year. So I think partially him not being on team last year, he kind of realized how nice the life was and everything. But he was a really good defensive lineman, especially when, like I said, the Denver Broncos won that Super Bowl. He was a decent part of it. He was a really good lineman, so it's really awesome to see for him. Congrats to him and everything. Now I get to spend time with his family. Austin Eckler said earning less than a backup wide receiver will piss me off. That's what I was talking about earlier, where this was mainly where it came from, was Eckler was talking about, hey, there's going to be third wide receivers that might be making more money than me. Which is crazy to think about, because that is the truth. Because, especially him, he's not getting paid much of anything. He's entering the final season, of his 4-year, $24 million contract. He tried to get it up, and they basically said, nope. I think they gave him a $1 or $2 million bonus, if that. He was looking for a deal that was similar to McCaffrey's, which was 4 years, $64. Keenan Williams and Mike Williams each earn $20 million per year versus his 4 or 5. And I'm not trying to say they compare anything. Both those guys are in and out of the lineup hurt a lot, and he's not. Like I said, it's just the whole devaluing of the running back position in general. He's still making money at the end of the day, so that's awesome. But when it comes to the idea of he wants to make a little bit more money, obviously, he thinks he should get paid a little bit more. Aaron Rodgers, as everyone knows, should do. The Jets are on Hard Knocks. I forgot to announce that. We're already 25 minutes in. Aaron Rodgers obviously is not very happy with it. They forced it down our throats if we got to deal with it, is basically what he said. I understand the appeal to us. Obviously, there's a lot of eyes on me, a lot of eyes on our team, a lot of expectations on our squad. Yeah, if I'm them too, I'm kind of pissed because they just I'm assuming they just want to go in the light a little bit. And basically just leave it be. They just wanted to kind of just be left to their own almost, I want to say. And just alright, let's build the team away from everyone a little bit. Let's be able to focus on ourselves. And instead they're going to have cameras everywhere. Probably be careful what they say. It's going to be don't get me wrong, because fans going to be awesome to see what's going on in there, especially with Aaron Rodgers, because that's a whole new vibe, man. They actually are playoff contenders, potentially. Aaron Rodgers adds a sense of belief and better play than their past few quarterbacks. So they actually do have a chance to make the playoffs now. So the fact they're on Hard Knocks is going to be very fun to watch. Very interesting to see. Former Georgia staffer sues the school and Jalen Carter after the crash. And it was a woman that was seriously injured. Oh, a woman seriously injured in the January car crash and an athletic staffer has sued the School Athletics Association and former Bulldogs defensive tackle for damages. I don't know what's going to come out of this, basically, but this person filed a lawsuit, Victoria Bowles, I think is how you say your name. Bowles, sorry, it's probably Bowles, not Bowles, my fault. No, to get back, Bowles, that's unbelievable. Bowles, she filed a lawsuit, basically, and it says it wears at least 2 super speeder violations among 4 speeding tickets prior to the crash. She sustained multiple serious injuries in the crash, including lumbar and root fracture, spinal cord injury, and lacerations of kidney and liver. She also sustained a closed head injury with neurological damage and severe eye pain. So basically I think she's just trying to get a little bit of money, I'm assuming, to cover up all this and all that, but I'm not going to, she's basically accusing, and yeah, she's basically just coming out and basically trying to, the fact that they already cleared Carter and everything, he's kind of been let go. I don't know what's going to come of this. I think they're definitely, obviously I think she's going to get some money out of this, but I just wanted to basically share this, that, yeah, they're still kind of going on a little bit, but I think they're to the point where they're going to get money out of this, just depends how much, and then, I don't know how much we're going to hear from this story. Don't get me wrong, it's super, super sad still, very, very serious. Awful, just an awful, awful story, but it's to the point I think so many people are trying to move it behind them that I would not be shocked if I just read this aloud and we don't hear anything about it again. She gets paid for it by the school and everything, because obviously the school has a shit ton of money. So obviously she gets it paid for, gets everything covered, and then they just kind of like, I don't want to say brushed under the rug, but they basically just like, yeah, let's just not talk about this again. It was an awful moment and something that should have been an amazing day for them. Because for those of you who don't know, who are kind of new, Jalen Carter and I forget the teammate's name, but they were basically street racing after their championship, is a alleged rumor, and one of them ended up dying, and the girl received a lot of injuries in that crash, and basically, yeah, that's what it's come down to. Jalen Carter did get cleared from it as much. I don't know how much, like, to the exact detail he got cleared, but it's the fact they got drafted and he's in the NFL. Should be okay. I would assume to continue playing and everything. He got drafted pretty high. So I would assume that he's not going to get arrested or anything, but it's going to be interesting to see what outcomes of that. Quinton Williams signs a 4-year, $96 million deal. 66 guaranteed, obviously, and he has the second largest contract ever, obviously behind Aaron Donald, but Quinton Williams is well-deserved. He is, and ever since he came into the league, he's been a beast. He's been really, really good. They've been trying to do this all off-season. It's just a lot of money, man. He's only 25 years old, too. He is the first player selected in the first round by the Jets to ink a second contract since Muhammad Wilkerson in 2011. Wow. And they also signed Quincy Williams, as his brother, and a linebacker there. But, man, bro. That's crazy. Since 2011, nobody's really wanted to sign back a second year. I mean, it makes sense, but it's crazy. Quinton Williams, 4-year, 96. Simons, 4-year, 94. Payne's 4-year, 90. And this is this offseason. These are happened. Hargrave is 4 years, 84. Just to give you some numbers. So he got a bag back, basically. Breece Hall says the Jets offense has an answer for everything. They really do. They got a run game. They got a passing game. They got a surgeon at quarterback who, if he needs to, will hand it off 25 to 30 times, only throw 10. But if he needs to, he can throw 20 to 30 times. Like, their offense truly does have almost all the pieces you could really need. The Lions GM believes that the running back upgrades will help their offense, which I think it will too, because don't get me wrong, I love DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Smith is a dynamic player, and Jamal Williams is a great leader for us, but I think David Montgomery and Jamal are different backs, which is very true. I think they basically liked what they had, but they just want to get a little bit of a refit. Jamal Williams is a little old. DeAndre Swift, like I said, was hurt a lot, so not surprising they want to switch it up, get a little bit of a change in the running back room. I mean, just makes sense. Tom Coughlin and Mike Shanahan are among the Pro Football Hall of Fame finalists. Pretty awesome. Congrats to those two. I think both of them are coaches. Kyler said the vibes going into last season for Cardinals were all negative. To hit a wall year 4, especially after going through the whole contract thing, the energy, the aura, the vibes were into the season were all negative. This is from Kyler Murray himself. Having to deal with all that stuff and trying to focus on football, and then I got COVID in camp, hurt my wrist in camp, so I missed a lot of reps. Had to play catch up in the season. Started in Kansas City. It was a complication of fucked up things going on. That's what Kyler said. I think it's just, I mean, it makes sense. So basically what it sounds like is just so much went on that he started to lose a little bit of focus and everything, and then he got hurt, obviously. Then the whole season went downhill. It just sounds like basically anything truly that could go wrong for the Cardinals went wrong. Yeah, and obviously because Saquon didn't sign a deal, his week 1 availability is unknown as of right now. So we will see what happens with him. The Buccaneers are going to bring back the creamsicles, for those of you who don't know. It's really, really awesome. The creamsicles are sick. I'm so excited they're bringing them back. I can't wait to see them. And then this will be the last one to end with today. This was, oh wait, never mind. We already got, oh sorry. I was trying to make sure I got everything that we already covered. So yeah, basically we're going to end today with Alvin Kamara news real quick. So basically Alvin Kamara pleads no contest to a misdemeanor. As a part of agreement, charges of felony battery and misdemeanor. Kamara will be required to do 30 hours of community service and pay $105,000 to cover the medical expenses to the guy. I'm not going to say the guy's name, just out of respect. Kamara and the other 3 men were indicated for the incident on February 5th. And then basically the news is, it sounds like he's just going to do some community service. All should be well, and then he'll be back on the field for the Saints, which for them is truly awesome because he had a little bit of a rough season last year. I don't know if it's because stuff was going through his head or not, but just really not a good season for him last year. But yeah, that's where I'm probably going to end it today. Talked the first half of the show, Dhop and the running back issues. Finished the second half off with a lot of news. Almost under 50 days, man. By the time I get back on here, we'll be in the 40s on Thursday. Crazy to think about. If we're not in the 40s, we'll be at 50 exactly. I can't remember if it's 52 or 51, but basically for the remainder of the week, yeah, AFC. I'm going to just break down the AFC North on Thursday. Friday, I appear on Captain by Hope with a red beard. That's about going to do it for this week. So thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for all the support. Appreciate the love, and I will see everybody back on this feed on Thursday.